Morning to everyone. Today I'm going to focus on full stack and web development technologies. So I welcome to every participants for this webinar, and I'm giving a special thanks to Dr. R. Ravi sir, Research Head of FX College of Engineering. So special thanks to him for giving a privilege to uh, give a lecturer on full stack web development technologies. Today we are going to see the full stack web development technology. What is it? Actually, it is a concept based on creating a web page application. The web page application is fully based on front-end and back-end application. So if you want to create a web page, like website, if you want to create your own website, you need to have a front-end, that is client-side programming. Also, you need to create a server-side programming with its database so that all the information will be stored in the database, and through client the server will be communicated. If you want to create such an environment, it is called full stack web development environment. So over this full stack web development environment, we need so many techniques, is languages, understanding some languages. For example, first we need to focus on front-end technology, that is different development languages of front-end technology. For example, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, jQuery, etc. Some of the front-end technology, we should be very thorough with that. And next, we need to know some of the server-side programming like Node.js or AngularJS, etc. Some of the server-side programming we should know. And next, we should know the database also. So today I am going to teach you the database of MongoDB. MongoDB, it is a NoSQL database, which will be a unstructured database, Also, we are going to teach about, I'm going to teach about how to work with different APIs with version control tools. So let us go to our concept full stack web development technology. Prerequisite. What are the things we should know before going to learn this full stack web development technology? First, we should have an idea about web browser. There are different web browsers available. We all know about that. Google Chrome, Apple Safari, Firefox, Mozilla Firefox, Internet Explorer, Netscape Navigator, all are client-side softwares. So whatever information we want to display over the internet, we will use this web browser. If you want to fetch any information from the internet, we will use this web browser. And another one is web server. So it will be like a middleware. So it will allow to process or access the information from the client to the server. That will be called as web server. A special kind of server, whatever information desired by the client, they will be submitting that information. It will process the information through the server and it will retrieve back the information. There are different web servers available. One is Internet Information Server. So it is Microsoft product. And Apache Tomcat server, it's a freeware Apache group. And WebSphere, it is an IBM web server. And Google web server, it is there. XAMPP web server, it will be there. So XAMPP is X for any operating system, Windows, Linux, Macintosh. A for Apache Tomcat web server, and M for MySQL, P for PHP, and P for Perl. Perl PHP program, if you want to do, we can use XAMPP or LAMP or WAMP. Different database also existing. One is MySQL database, we all know it's a freeware. Another one, MariaDB is there, MongoDB is there. That's what we are going to see today. And the SQL server, that is a SQL server of Microsoft, it is there. And Oracle SQL Plus. These are the different databases also existing. Now, today I'm going to focus on different developmental languages. What are the languages I'm focusing on? First one, starting with HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, different responsive APIs. Next, JavaScript, jQuery, Git, GitHub, Node.js, AngularJS. If it's time, we'll see. Otherwise, Another time we'll see MongoDB. Next, IDE, where to develop these web pages. Where to, which software we need to use for developing these web pages, that is IDE. The selected IDE, just some IDs I given. Atom IDE, brackets IDE is there. Visual Studio Code, it is there. And another one is Sublime Text. So I'm using Visual Studio Code for developing all the web pages. So it may be very compatible. Easily you can do and execute all the results with client and server side programming. First, let us see about what is HTML. So HTML was created in the year 1990s by Tim Berners-Lee and his batchmates. They created a particular language for communicating over the networks. It is only for the web information they used to communicate through networks. They developed this HTML. What is HTML? HTML is hypertext markup language. It is used to develop web pages. Normally, there are different versions of HTML. Initial version in 1990, next version 1993, version 3 it will be like 1997, version 4 it is 1997, 99. And next HTML version 5 was released in the year 2013 October. What is this HTML? HTML has been divided into two things. One is hypertext and markup language. Hypertext means it is creating a link from one page to another. If you are going for your Gmail or any of your mail application login page, if you give the correct username and password, it will be going for the next page. Similarly, if you use a wrong password, again different page it will go. So anyway, some link will be going page after page. That will be called as hypertext. And another one is markup language. It is just a text document to tell about your text information itself move towards the next page. That will be called as markup language. So HTML program all the text. It is a scripting language. Actually, it's a scripting language. All the script that was given in angular bracket, it will be called as element. So if you combine angular bracket, whatever we use within that, everything combinedly, it will be called element. And within that angular bracket, whatever it will be there, it is called selector string we will be using. So this is the sample of HTML document. If you want to create a HTML document, we will be going like this. HTML. So within HTML, two parts will be there. One is head part, another one is body part. Within the head part, two informations will be there. One is title, another one is style. Style will be used only while we studying CSS. We will use the style. And within the body only, all the information we will write. This information will display information over the web page. So web page information only displayed through the body tag information. If you give any information in the title tag, so that means in the head, it will only use in the title bar. Okay, that means the top level bar of the entire frames where it will display. So whatever you given within the body tag, it will display over the web page. That is, if you click browsers, automatically in the browsers, it will fill over the web page. Now, different concepts we are going to see within this HTML. One is called heading text, formatting text, attributes. What are the attributes we use? List, table, hyperlink, entities, images, frames, maps, forms, audio, video, canvas. Let us see one after the other. First one, heading tags. There are 6 heading tags we will be having in HTML, starting with H1, ending with H6 we will be having. The significance of H1 is the font will be very big and bold. If you see H2, it was somewhat smaller than H1. H3, one after the other, it will be smaller, and H6 will be very least, in size. So it will be very small in size. So whenever there is a starting tag, there must be an ending tag. So the ending tag will be given with slash and H1. So the starting tag will be given as H1, and the ending tag was given as slash H1. Suppose if there are no ending tag, we will be having self-closing tag. There are 2 self-closing tag. One is called HR slash and another one is BR slash. HR slash is called horizontal ruler. It is a line it will draw. And BR in the sense it is a break. Now formatting tags, different formatting tags we are used in HTML. The first formatting tag is div tag. It will be maintaining a container. So where to fix the information at appropriate level. So div tag, division tag, pre-tag, preserve tag. Suppose if you are writing like programming style, you should preserve the white spaces. Otherwise, if you are writing some formula, you should preserve the white spaces. For that reason, pre-tag was used. And span tag, if you want to use some insertion within that particular level, you will use span tag. B for bold tag, I for italic, U for underline, P for paragraph tag. If you want to create different paragraph, we will use paragraph tag. EM for emphasis tag, subscript tag, superscript tag, SUP. So different levels of tag we will be using. All these tags are called formatting tags. Now in HTML, there are different attributes we will use. All attributes will be used as a property name and the property value in the assigned tags. So what are the tags we will be using? H1 tags. We can give align equal to left. So the attributes are align attribute, color attribute, BG color attribute, title attribute. Title describes the tooltip. Whenever we are moving across, okay, the tooltip will be moved. For example, in this example, I given one example. Head and body was given. Within the body, H3 tag contains title. So if I move across my, cursor, that means our pointer, computer cursor, mouse cursor. If I move across this H3 tag, that hello HTML, whatever I given within the title will display. So that is the title, etc. So different attributes also we can use, okay, for HTML. So all the attributes must be used within the tag element. So one of the attribute I'm explaining in this program is dir attribute. So where I use dir, please check here. In the HTML tag itself, I use direction equal to RTL. What is the meaning? Instead of printing all the value from left to right, so this web page will print all the value from right to left. In this way, it will print all the value. So this is called direction equal to RTL. And next concept is list. List is just a sequence of ordered information. If you want to put one after the other, ordered information one after the other, we will go for a list. There are three types of list available. One is called ordered list, another one is called unordered list, and the third one is called definition list. Ordered list will be ordered by the default order as 1, 2, 3, etc. And if it is, if you want to describe the type as Roman letter I or capital Roman letter I or capital A or capital small a, if you want to describe, we can give type equal to small I. Here I mentioned type equal to I. That means Roman letter 1, 2, 3, etc. It will display. Suppose if I want to start with 10 value or third value, etc. Here you see I given type equal to I start equal to 3. So 3, 4, etc. It will do. It will start only with the 3. Roman letter 3 it will start. Why? Because I given the type as I. And another one is unordered list. What is unordered list? The thing of no order. So UL, unordered list, we will give the keyword UL, type equal to 3 types are there for the unordered list. So it will never reflect about the sequence numbering. So it will represent an unordered, like disk, that means a round with fully shaded, or circle, or square. So if you want to display as an unordered, so disk type equal to disk DISC, or square SQUARE, or circle I can mention. So it will never correspond numbering. Instead, it will point out like bullets. And another one is definition list. I told definition list in the sense like book definition will be there and next paragraph will be there. So DL, it should start with the DL. Within the DL, two types of tags will be there. One is called DT, it is called definition term. Another one is called DD, it is called definition description. So definition term means definition name. So it will be started from the margin and from left to margin it will be displayed. And the definition description in the sense after a paragraph, like a paragraph, it will start and display. And next concept is table. What is a table? Table it is just a grid structure which will represent the information over a cell. So cell contains equal size of rows and columns. So whenever we use table, we will use the keyword border equal to 1. Border is one of the attribute for table tag. So what is border equal to 1 means? A single line that may be created over a table. If you execute this example, a particular line, grid line will be appearing over there. Within the table, different tags we will use. One is caption tag, another one is ER tag, TH tag, TD tag, etc. What caption tag represents? Caption tag represents the title of the table, either display in the top or display in the bottom. And TR tag in the sense it represents the row, how many columns you will be having, how many columns you specify over your table. So all these you put within the TR. The first block of the TR will be called as the header. So that if you want to see, there is a difference between TH and TD. If you use TH, it will be bold and middle justified. If you use TD, it will be left justified and unbold. So like that, it will be there. So first, you see here, first tag I represent TR. And next tag I represent TR with the TD. Next also I use TD. Why? Because all the other is not heading. Only the first block will be the heading given. Over the table, we can use row span and col span also. What is the meaning? Sometimes first full rows, okay, all the column we will merge. It is called col span. So in the TR itself, we can write col span. If I'm having only 2 columns, I can tell col span equal to 2. If I'm having 4 columns, col span equal to 4. If I'm having 4 columns and only 2 columns to be merged, I will be telling TR, within TH itself, I can tell col span equal to 2. So 2 will be merged, another 2 will be there still. Similarly, TH, TD, in row, etc. If you want to do, you can use this col span and row span. Also within the table, we can use the concept of margin. Also, we can use the concept of padding. So if you want to use the margin between 2 cells, that will be called margin. The distance used between the 2 cells, and padding in the sense distance between a cell and its border. That means the information and its border content. It will be the padding. Like that we will be using. And next concept we will be having is hyperlink. Hyperlink is the major concept of HTML. And hyperlink in the sense we will use the anchor tag here, the reference tag, otherwise called as anchor tag. We will call this as A. What is A? A is anchor. Normally in computer architecture, we studied about the anchor block. That is the first block of the record. It's called anchor block. So similarly here we are using ahref equal to http://gmail.com. I given an example here, and after that I'm using here /a. That means while closing this anchor tag, the first block I'm having is here HTRE. So the hyperlink will be generated. If you click this hyperlink, automatically it will take to www.gmail.com. Next one, HTML entities. There are so many entities we can use. Directly, if you are using greater than and less than ampersand, apostrophes, etc., nothing will work in HTML. If you want to work out a white space or less than, greater than, ampersand, double quotes, etc., we need some HTML entities. The different entities for white spaces, ampersand, NBSP, number of non-breaking space. So that means only one blank space, white space will be created. If it is ampersand LT semicolon in the sense less than. If you want to display a greater than symbol, less than symbol over your web page, you must use like this. Directly, within your HTML, if you do greater than, it will never display there. It will never show error. HTML major disadvantages never show any error. Okay, just whatever you use, it will display. So for finding error, it's very difficult if it's a humpty number of pages is there. So all those entities was there. Even copyright, we are having entity or cent, euro, pound, everything we will be having entity over there for registration, etc. Next, images. HTML we will be using working with images also. How to work with image? IMG tag is the major image tag. SRC is the attribute for that, equal to file name. So if image is not there, we can use an attribute called ALT, alternate. So what will be the alternate value? It will be displaying here. Next one, creating frames. So frames, HTML5 will not support, but all the other HTML will be there. It's one of the important concepts. Each frame will be having a concept of frame set. Within the frame set, we will be having different frames with SRC. What is the use of this frame? Splitting up of window screen, it is called frame. We can split with rows or we can split with columns. Both will be there. One of the example I'm showing here. You see here within the example, okay, outside the body, I just created frame set, rows equal to 10%, 80%, and 10%. What it means? For row wise, first 10%, next 80%, next 10%. So first 10% for header, next for page information, body information, 10% for footer, like that. Arrangement was given. So I given frame SRC. Name I given because of some target information have to display. So your frame SRC equal to what is the file name? And frame name equal to something. SRC equal to something. Frame SRC equal to another file name. So 3 levels of files we can display in the first level, next level, etc. Next, HTML5, we will be having another type of special type of frame called inline frame. What is this inline frame? It will create a rectangular region. Within that, document will be projected there. So whenever a rectangular grid was created, it will be having it may be a small section with width and height. So we can set some scroll bar. Automatically scroll bar will be included with its border. So if you want to display a particular region, will be selected to display. So the look and feel will be good. That's what inline frame. Different documents we can embed it there. Another concept called maps. For example, maps. What we will be using for maps? If you want to visit our country, what you will do? So just getting an India map. So, get a map like India and just to point out what is the southern region, okay, what will be the northern region, what is the eastern region, what is the western region, etc. So there you create a hotspot. So over the map, you create a hotspot. If I'm talking about, Tamil Nadu, where it is, I can easily point out. If I want to point out about Karnataka, put a circle over there or square over there. So that is the concept of map, creating hotspot. What I am doing here, map will be using with the tag called MAP, name equal to one name for the map. So the same name, whatever we are using for this map, it must be given for the image name use map. So image, initially I given image SRC equal to one particular object, one image was given, alternate equal to workplace, use map equal to hash work map. What is the meaning? Same map name you will be using with hash use map. And within the map, we will be having different tags called area. Area contains different attributes. One of the main attribute is shape, another attribute is cohorts, another attribute is href. What is the use of area? Area in the sense it will identify a particular region where you circle or you will make a rectangle. Different shapes are there. We can make it circle shape or we can make it rectangle. So if you use a rectangle, you want to identify, measure the diagonal area so that you can find out the coordinates. Where to find out the coordinates? If you upload this information over your paint, in the status bar, it will display row as well as column. So both end of the diagonal you identify and put it over here. So the entire rectangular area will be mapped. If you move your cursor there, it will tell a hyperlink. This is called area. So area shape equal to rect, cohorts equal to 4 values, alternate equal to, and href equal to where to go. That particular page name was given. And another one, circle. We can use the circle also. If you use circle, cohorts equal to, that is the point where you are pointing, that particular pointing, and how much diameter you want to select. So that's what given. Only 3 parameters. One is a point contains x and y position. How much radius we should travel. How much it should be there. So that value will be there. 10 or 20 or 44. No problem about it. This is map. Next one, HTML forms. HTML forms are required. The forms is used to activate the controls. Different controls we can create it through HTML. The controls will be created within the form. The controls like text box, text area, select in the sense drop down list box, radio, check box, and submit button, reset button, so many things, date, email, etc. We can create all those things. Just you see here, all the information was given. Even file selection, hidden text box, everything we can create. How to create a text box? Within the body, form was created. Input type equal to text. If you create like this, text box will be created. If you want to mention the name for the text box, so we can make it. So similarly, last name. Two text box I'm having, one is first name and last name. Another one, radio button. How to create a radio? Input type equal to radio. If you given radio will be there. First radio will be checked, male. Remaining unchecked. So three types will be there: male, female, other. Radio button. One control. Similarly, this one will be, drop down list box. It is also called as combo box. Here in HTML, it is a select control. Select name equal to cars. If you want to display 4 in the sense, you can use here size equal to 4. Name equal to cars, size equal to 4. Attributes. If you want to display all the things multiple you can use. If you want to select only bends, you can write option value equal to bends checked. So this alone will be checked. Okay, this will be selected. Select. Okay, so like that we can give. And another one is button, input type equal to button or button type equal to button. So we can click any type of event also. Later I'll come with this event. Input type equal to date, input type equal to email, input type equal to file, input type equal to number, input type equal to time, URL, range is minimum, maximum. And if you want to set the pattern, for example, country name, I want to set input type equal to text, name equal to country name. I want to set only 3 alphabets, I and D. So A to Z, capital, small a to Z. Overall, maximum 3 alphabets we want to select. So I is capital, ND is smaller. I can select. Next, audio video controls, source, SRC, type. So audio will play. Within the body, we want to write this code. Similarly, video controls, video width, height controls. If you want to use a loop, auto start, everything we can do there. After that, source SRC equal to abc.M.Tech. Okay, MP4 file type equal to video/MP4 and video close. If you put within the body tag, automatically whatever video we are trying to play, it will play. Next one, canvas. Canvas is a rectangular grid area where information will be displayed with specific styles over the graphics area. Normally, this canvas, if you want to use, we must use the scripting language. Scripting language uses different functions like get element by ID, get element by name, and get element by tag name. Here in the canvas itself, I use width, height, style, etc. And one of the parameter I'm using as ID by ID. So I'm using document.getElement by ID of my ID. So I'm getting the control and creating a two-dimensional view to display the information. Through this view, I'm creating linear gradient with 0, 0 to 50, 0. What is this? Absolute value. So red, green, blue. So it will display RGB. Blue in color, it will display. Maximum is 255, so it's aligned with blue color. And another one is I'm giving add stop color 0, blue. First color will be blue, and another end color will be yellow. I given here yellow. So blue to yellow, it will create a gradient. So like that. Similarly, I can fill the rect with the position 10, 10, 200, 100. A particular square starting with blue, ending with yellow, fully it will be there, it's linear. Similarly, we can create for circular and displaying the value also. If you want to draw some text information, we can use ctx.drawTextOff. Welcome to webinar. We can do the information and just we can display which position we want to display, X and Y position. So that's all about HTML. Next one, CSS concept. What is the purpose of CSS? CSS is cascading style sheet. While writing HTML, along with that, we will apply some styles. Whenever we are going out, immediately we will comb our hair, we will do all those things for making some style. Similarly, if you want to make some styles over the web page, we will use CSS. So this will handle look and feel part of the web page. We can color, we can style the font, we can do the paragraph, we can create the background, we can create all the design. What is the advantage? Time savings, fast loading, easy maintenance, etc. The main theme for this CSS is styled rules. Here, three things will be there. One is selector string. In HTML tag, we are talking about H1 within angular bracket. Whatever present within angular, along with angular bracket, we will tell as element. Whatever thing present within element is called selector string. H1 is a selector. So H1, property name, property value. So many text properties will be there we can use. One of the examples was given table. Within the angular bracket will be there. So within the angular bracket, table will be there. So table we are taking. H1 we can take, 3 we can take, 2 we can take, whatever. LI we can take, OL we can take, everything we can take, and property name, property value, we can use it. There are 8 types of selector string, you should know. Simple selector string, universal selector string, class selector string, generic selector string, ID selector string, okay, pseudo selector string, pseudo with a hyperlink selector string, at import selector string, and simple selector string in the sense directly use H1, H2, H3, curly brace open, property name, property value. Combinedly, we will write everything. It is called simple. Universal in the sense common for all, star. If I want to make it color, all as green in the sense star, curly brace open, color, colon green. Class selector in the sense even H1 will be a tag, H2 will be a tag. So H1, I can use the class H1.A, H1.A1, H2.A1. So both contains a class. So it will affect these two. Generic in the sense, a star. Generic in the sense, a dot A1. Wherever class dot A1, it will influence us. Generic. And ID selector, which is class in the sense H1.A1. If H1.A1 is there, then only that particular property. H2.A1 in the sense another property will be exhibiting. And generic means for all the common tags we will use. ID selector in the sense hash. We will use hash. So we can create a hyperlink for a single page itself with hash selector, ID selector. For example, some of the websites, if you visit, so many pages will be there. First pages contains a hyperlink of CSE, IT, ECE, and corporate departments. And my CSE detail will be there in the 25th page. How to fetch the 25th page? I want to see. I cannot track one after the other. Quickly, I want to do so that I'm using ID selector. How to do? Here, I will create all the that is the tag, hyperlink tag. While writing their code in the 25th page, I will be writing a href equal to hash CSE. So if you use hash CSE, where my ID is, that ID will be selected and displayed in the present area. Next pseudo selector, that is active, visit, hover, these are the things. If you want to move the mouse before clicking, what color? After clicking, what color? While visiting, what is happening? Sometimes font will be bigger, etc. Similarly, pseudo hyperlink. So in the hyperlink in the sense, pseudo hyperlink in the sense, a dot, link, colon, whatever we can use. So everything hyperlinked with your pseudo selector. It is pseudo selector. And last one, import URL. That means external CSS also we can use it over here. Now, how to use this selector? There are different examples will be there. Different text properties are there. Font family, font size. Font family in the sense Times New Roman, bookmark old style, corrosiva, sans serif, serif, etc. All those family. Font size means pixel, point, percentage, any representation we can do. Font hyphen size colon 40 px, 40 pixel. Font variants, that is normal, small caps, etc. We can use. Font styles, italic, oblique, okay, etc. Font weight, bold, unbold, etc. Shortens in the sense use of more number of font, whatever we see. Text decoration, underline, overline, line through. If you strike out everything, we can use. Text align, center, middle, left, right, etc. We can use. Color we can use whatever color, green, blue, etc. So many colors, all color 216. And BG color we can use, all those we can use. Also, CSS contains box model. That is the border style, border weight, border color, margin, padding, etc. Box layout contains two display property. One is called inline property. Another one is called block property. Blocking a particular thing. So separately, it will be blocked as a container. Inline, along with that. Positioning also two types of positioning, absolute, relative, float colon right, float positioning. So right to display the image or left to display the image. float colon left. So all will be CSS property. And this one is the example for creating your selector. So I given H1, H2, H3, color, font weight, etc. All those. Text transform also it is there. Text shadow, transform, everything will be there. Types of CSS, three types we can execute the CSS. One is internal CSS, another one is inline CSS, and another one is external CSS. Internal CSS in the sense CSS must be written within the head itself. Head contains first itself I told title and style. So within the style, if you write a CSS code, it is called internal CSS. Inline CSS in the sense within the body itself we will be writing. So we will write text style equal to font property name property value. We can write like that. External CSS separate CSS file. HTML is one file and CSS is file. HTML file extension is .html. CSS file extension is .css. It is called external. So how to set a background? For example, if you want to set a background for the entire body of the screen, that means entire web page, that's the body. So style equal to background -image : URL of water.jpg. So behind water image will display. So it is called inline CSS. You see here within the body, a given style equal to background -image : URL. If you want, if it's a small image, we can make it repeat. Background -repeat. We can use repeat X, repeat Y, no repeat, etc. Later I will tell you. This is the example for internal CSS. What is that? H1 within the style itself, H1 was given. Color will be displayed blue, font color, etc. Next one, external CSS, separate file. Either in the style, we can give at import URL of file name.css, otherwise link type equal textless CSS, href equal to the CSS file name we can give. And another one, you see here, background image within the body, the entire body, we can type it. Like, internal CSS. It is internal CSS is called embedded CSS. External CSS, it will be the, blinking CSS. Now you see one of the example was given text to transform, to capitalize, text to transform, uppercase, lowercase, text to shadow, everything I told. So that's all about our CSS. Next concept is JavaScript. What is a JavaScript? Two types of JavaScript we'll use: external JavaScript, internal. External JavaScript in the sense, specially we will write an external JavaScript code .js. And internal in the sense, everything we will write within the HTML program itself. This is an example for internal JavaScript. What I given, I written a function with alert. And just to create a button, if you click, automatically that hello will be called and displaying over the screen. That is as an alert. That is the message box will be displayed. JavaScript, number, string, boolean data types is there. There are common data types is there. One is called var, another one is called let. For modern variable declaration, we will use. Otherwise, we will use var, variable, common variable. Operators we will use, it is like scripting language, programming language, object-based programming language. So JavaScript. So arithmetic operator, comparison, logical, assignment, conditional. If else statement will be there. If else statement, else if statement, ladder, everything we will use. I given all the examples here. Switch cases will be used, while loops will use, do while will be used, and one example we'll use for do while. So first it will execute the program, at the end it will check the condition and come out. So at least once the program will execute minimum level of condition. For loop, we will use like program we can use. Break, terminate the loop, continue for skipping the loop. Functions. Functions is a subroutine used to execute a task. If you want to execute a group of code, we will use functions. The concept of function is return a value. So all function must return a value. That is the major concept. So how we execute it, I given here. And JavaScript uses the concept of DOM events. DOM is an intrinsic event. There are so many intrinsic event methods will be there. It is actually a set of platform independent and language neutral application to support for HTML JavaScript documents. And on click event, on submit event, on mouse move, mouse over, key up, key down, on focus, on submit, on load, etc. All events we can use in JavaScript. Dialog boxes, 3 dialog boxes will be there. One is alert, confirm, and prompt. Alert in the sense message box, OK button alone will be there. Confirm, OK, and cancel button will be there. Prompt, text field, and 2 button OK and cancel. So 3 controls will be there for the prompt. So we can get the input through prompt also in JavaScript. As I told you earlier, JavaScript is based on object-based scripting programming language. So here we can use the object concept also. Not only we can use only one variable, we can use multiple number of variables like object-based we can process. That's what you are seeing here. Variable car equal to type, colon, fiat, model, etc. Color, everything was given. And another variable let school equal to name, location, established, etc. was given. So we can process these detail also. Very simple. So I'm having a person detail, first name, last name, get name, one function was returning, again phone number. So if you want to access the mobile and LAN number, I have to call person.phone number dot landline. That's what given here. Now we can create constructors through objects also. How to create a constructor? Variable school equal to new object of. So school becomes an object. So through objects we can call all the variable. So that itself created as a constructor. That's what the example given here. School dot display information equal to function of. And I'm displaying all the information when it was established, all the detail based on calling the function school dot display information of. Display information is just a variable. After calling the function, it becomes a constructor object initialization. There are different objects in JavaScript like math object, boolean object, string object, array object, and regular expression. Math object is used to use square root function or whatever sine function, cos function, count function, whatever function we will use that. And standard deviation, etc. Boolean function true or false, we know. String function, string object name equal to new string of. So character at to uppercase to lowercase, substring, replace, everything. All functions we can use. Array, we are using in JavaScript, we are having only single dimensional array. If you want to go for multi-dimensional array, we had to extend one dimension with other dimension. For creating two-dimensional array, two times we had to create two arrays. That means single dimension we want to create within single dimension, another dimension you should call. So the two-dimensional array we can create through array. So array object name equal to new array of. So array will be created. Regular expression REGEXP, it is a regular expression for creating a password. How much alphabets we need, uppercase we need, numbers we need, dollars we need. If you want to check all those things, we can create regular expression by checking, searching a string, etc. All those concepts we can use. Next, we will be dealing about Bootstrap. The major focus on Bootstrap is the current version is 4. So it will be used as a responsive front-end framework. What it is mean? For example, if you want to display, different information with desktop, laptop, mobile, tablet, etc., all device size is not same. All device pixel position will be differs. So for that earlier days, if you want to use something, for example, like given here, quick information will be there. m.quickinformation.com will be there. That is only for mobiles we will use. For computer is different from mobiles. Nowadays, everything was combined, and this Bootstrap was developed by the authors Mark Otto and Jacob Thornton in the year 2011. It was initialized in the year 2010 and used in Twitter. As well as it is released as the project development of Twitter, and later different versions in 2012, 13 and 17 released. Nowadays, we are having the current version 2017 as version 4 we are using till now. And what is the major theme of this Bootstrap? Okay, it is a device-based web application responsive front-end framework based on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. It is easy and fast for creating the JavaScript library. Whatever we are using in Bootstrap, it's purely a class. Just calling the class and referring. So the appearance and styles easily it will be fixed over here. If you want to use a desktop, laptop, tablet, mobile, all the sizes will be shared. How we know? We will be having a concept called grid here in Bootstrap. The major responsive API used in that grid is, that means Bootstrap is meta name equal to viewport, content equal to width equal to device width, initial scale equal to 1. If we use this, automatically the responsive framework is created, and we can use the concept of grid concept. There are 12 different sectors. The entire screen will be divided into 12. For extra large, large, medium, small, small, very small, extra small. So the meaning is for large system, big screens. So 12 will be there. That same, web page information, I cannot put it to a small mobile. If I want to do, I want to, compress, responsive, shrink it. So if I want to shrink it, I will divide the entire screen into 12 columns, 6, 6, or 4, 4, 4, or 3, 3, 3, 3, or 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, like that. One more up to 12. So just like that, according to the large device or small device, we can do. For that, Google, they given a particular link. Microsoft, they given a link. And this Bootstrap itself, Content Delivery Network, CDN, link will be there. So this is the division, how it was divided. And the grid system, what I told, okay, it was divided into large and medium, etc. So all the whatever I told, a div will be used based on classes, different classes we will be using. So that is the concept. And now within the Bootstrap, different concepts was used: table, images, computer, etc. Some concepts I used here: typography, images. What will be the thing? These all are classes. See, we are having so many classes like primary, success, inverse. Primary in the sense it will display blue in color. Success means green in color, light blue, information. Warning in the sense orange in color. Danger in the sense red color, etc. So everywhere it will be there. For background we can set, or text information we can set. So for different levels of information we can set. In the table, jump out in the sense it will fix a major block over the first part of the container. So all will be maintained based on the container view tag we will be using. So through class we will use so the jumbotron, that is extra, big. It will be there like a heading. Now alerts, buttons, progress bar, etc. Later to come across all those things. jQuery. What is the purpose of jQuery? It is a JavaScript library. It was created by John Dresick in the year 2006. So the major theme will be write less and do more. Here also event handling, technique, animation, effects, everything will be there. One of the example, the major theme, how to access and create a jQuery. It is based on dollar. It is dollar for accessing the query. Selector, we will use what will be the HTML element. And action will be what action we will write. We can write the function here. How to call the function, all those actions we will write. One of the examples we will see, dollar document dot get, that is ready function of dollar in the sense accessing the query. Document is the selector, ready is the function, that is the action. Function of within that I am writing welcome College University IT department. Concepts. The different concepts we are using is DOM traversing, CSS, DOM manipulation, event handling, Ajax, FX, e-bings, etc. So one small example, how to execute the paragraph tag background. One small example. You see here, this is the code of jQuery. $document.ready function P paragraph. Wherever paragraph tag will be there, CSS background yellow will display. That is the theme was given here. Similarly, another one here I given LI over the list equals of 2. That means second block of the list only it will display red color. The item will be displayed red in color. So list 2, this list it will be display red. All the other will be normal back. And version control, 2 tags will be there, 2 concepts will be there. One is Git, it is a command line. So whatever thing we are focusing on GitHub, same thing as a command line to pull the request, merge the request, push the request, create the branch. All those concepts, merge the branch, create the clone. All the concepts in the command line also we can write. And we may be knowing about GitHub. It is just a repository to store all the information. Why? Because we are doing different programming for for creating the full stack web development. So whenever we are completing the program, just to push it into the GitHub directory. That means github.com. So create an ID there you push out. So whatever you push, all the version control files will be stored there. So this version control is a system records changes to the file and set of files over time. You can recall, if you want to recall the first level file when you complete it, that also we can set over there. There are different concepts of the repository, commit, branch, push, fork, pull, merge and clone. You can create and you can see for doing these projects, it will be highly useful for you. And Node.js, it was created by Ryan Dahl in the year 2009 for open source. Normally, this Node.js runs on V8 engine. It will run only on V8 engine. So what is this V8 engine? See, every browser contains an engine. For example, Google Chrome contains V8 engine. And if you are using Mozilla Firefox, we will be having Spider Monkey engine. So this Node.js, it is work only for Chrome V8 engine. It was written in CSS, C++ file and used in Google Chrome browsers alone. So we can execute on Windows, Linux, and Macintosh OS also. Node.js, it's a server-side JavaScript. Whatever we studied earlier, fully based on client-side programming. Now this is server-side programming. High-performance network framework and everything well optimized over highly concurrent environments we can work out. Command line tools also it is there. Also it will be very fast and executed. There are two types of IOs will be there. One is blocking versus non-blocking. Blocking is a synchronous IO. That means clock pulse will be given according to that timing only everything will work. And asynchronous IO. Asynchronous IO, it will never work for, never stop for any other thing. It will keep continuously working. It will never wait for anything. And after completing, it will get the feedback. So like that, asynchronous. So quickly it will execute. It is the DEX concepts we will be using here. And feature of Node.js, fast, single-threaded, input-output is asynchronous, highly scalable, no buffering was used. And here in Node.js, REPL concept was used, that is read, evaluate, and print a loop, all those concepts. So if you want to type, after installing Node.js, if you want to type the code, you just check whether it is working or not. And you can type the loop also. Do curly brace open x plus plus. What is that? Initially we given x as 0. So we can check all those things. Console.log of yes. What is the value of x? What is the command? How many times it was executing? We can check. So console.log, it is one of the print statement used to print information in the debug screen. Hello world. And node hello.js. So it is the execution type. So you can create a program like hello.js and put the value console.log of hello world. And for execution, node hello.js, so automatically your output welcome hello world will display. And different modules will be there here. HTTP modules for core, file system modules, like different modules, MongoDB modules, Mongoose modules, different modules we can use. Third-party modules also we can use. And some of the core modules are require functions. We will use HTTP as a module. And if you want to call the HTTP module, require is the function we must use. Require of HTTP, it should be stored in a particular object. The major principle behind this Node.js is a callback. What is a callback? A function that is executed after another function. Whenever it's completed executing, immediately next function. Repeatedly it will be there. It's called callback function. So first function X was given, Y was given. I use the callback for Y. Immediately, Y, whenever it's called, immediately it will call the X and put within this Y and giving the particular result. Now one more function I'm having, variable calc equal to function of. So normally in Node.js, it is possible to write like this, object-based variable object equal to function of. So it will send the information to numbers. Here, function call I written here, console.log. So it is a debug screen, print statement, directly call. See, normally we will be having a print statement to return a value. The concept of function is to return a value. It will print its values. Calc is the function object. 2, 3. I'm passing this value. I call add. So added output we will be getting. Similarly, if you use with a different mathematical function with the return statement, it will be doing its own value. Node.js, we can use the file system module also. A module called FS module, file system. We can read a file, we can create a file, update a file, delete a file, rename a file. So everything will be based on asynchronous. So file system in the sense require of FS. For HTTP, require of HTTP, it is require of FS. And here, if you want to print the current working directory over the file, we can use CWD. Process.cwd in the sense current working directory, it will print the value and given the debug screen, we can display. And similarly, if you want to read a text file, whatever present in the text file, it will read. Parallelly, we are having a function. Function contains error type and data. So error type, if it is error, throws an error. Otherwise, data will be there. If error is there, error will be thrown and it will reflect what type of error it is directly. Otherwise, the data will be returned. Similarly, for writing a file, here I given what is the name of the file and what is the information we want to write. And just I given function of error. Okay, so whatever it is there, it will write the information. Whatever display, it will write the information within the file. If you open the file test.txt, it will appear there. Next one, program in web. If you want to display any programming over your web browser, so we can use it. So just I created variable HTTP object equal to require of HTTP. It is the module we will be using. Variable server equal to HTTP dot create server of function request response. If there is a request and response over the server, it will means that it will be going for displaying the information in the web screen. That means your web page browser. And here in the browser, the display function is response.write. You see here response.write. So otherwise it is console.log, that is debug screen. If you want to display there in the web page, it is called the response.write. So hello HTTP, it will display. And just we given the server port number as 8000, so it will display with the port number localhost colon 8000, it will display. The last type of program is MongoDB. It is just an unstructured databases. It is not a relational database with tables and columns. So here we will call this as a schemaless database. It don't have to define any information. So that the input given for this MongoDB as JSON file, no formatting will be there. Just take the value with the property name, property value, just mixed all those values in a square bracket, repeated values, we can send the information. So the difference between structured data and unstructured data, that is no SQL is, in structured data we will call as tables. Here we will call as collections. We cannot call as table. Table contains equal size of rows and columns. But here, there it will be called rows. Here it is called documents. Just a document. And there it will be called columns. Here it's called field. What are the fields? Different fields. See, we cannot tell one table contains all fields as same field. Different fields also we can use. The benefit in the sense more data can be collected. It will never use any format. Whatever data is there, it is processed. They are very minute. Here no relation. Installation, just to go to mongodb.com, download for your this one, and after executing this file, execute in your C drive. That means in your command prompt, execute MongoDB. If it is not executed, create a folder data, and within that folder create another folder called DB, and just we had to track where MongoDB is. So first track program files MongoDB server 4.0 bin. Select this path and create an environment. In computer, we know one environment variable path setting will be there. Advanced path environmental variable. Okay, in the system properties we can check. So over the environment variable, copy this path and paste the path over there. So whenever one time if you paste, all the time whenever we are started doing executing this MongoDB, it will process. So it will so there you type MongoD. So while giving MongoD, the entire thing will be processed and you will be getting a port 27017. If you are getting the port, okay, automatically it was executed, it reached the particular point, fulfilling this MongoDB installation. How to implement in VS Code? So for implementing in VS Code, you select the TypeScript and enter click command. Okay, click command. So after clicking command, npm install MongoDB. After installing MongoDB, again give MongoD. If you give MongoD, one prompt will be getting. That is SQL prompt. Here it is no SQL. So that prompt will be there. You give show databases. Instead of databases, we will give DBS. Other language is databases. Here it is DBS. Use school. That means database name I given a school. Show collections. I told collection means it is a table. Now, for inserting, we don't want to create anything. Directly we can do db.student.insert. That means I'm creating a table like student. Inserting a value ID 101, comma, name, email, etc. One record successfully inserted. If you click enter after this, immediately, similarly, we can type any type of record. Assume that I'm here given first record ID. Next record, you give serial number. No problem. You can insert. Instead of name, you give first name, last name, etc. You give all those things. Instead of email, you give address. So all field it will accept. It will never reject anything. It will store as a JSON format. Now, what is the JSON format? You see here, this is the square bracket. Any number of comma in the curly brace. Any number of file I will write, and at the end it will be square bracket. Suppose if you want to insert as the entire file, it is possible. db.student.insert many. So entire JSON file, we can even 10 or 15 JSON file with a different property name and property value. You can paste it here. Just to copy and paste. Automatically it will create for all. And another one, if you want to find, okay, you can find all the value. That means list out all the values, selecting all the values. And if you want to find like dot pretty in a particular format, it will be arranged in a particular sequence. It will be arranged. If you give only find db.student, that means student is the collection. The name of the table, that is the collection. Find, if you find in the sense entirely, it will be dumped. If you use pretty, neatly it will be given its values one after the other. Finding the first name Bill Gates, I want to find pretty. So wherever Bill is there as a starting name, it will display. And another one, you see here grade 10, who is studying 10th standard, and GPA greater than 2.0. However, it is there. Out of 4, who is more than 2.0, just to return. It will return all the value. Similarly, find classes, sizes 3. Okay, how many? 3 subjects. Okay, 3 subjects who are the people studying 3 subjects, those value will be returned. Similarly, update. If I want to update one name to another name, it is possible. If you want to remove a grade, it is possible. Even if you want to delete only one object. So, whenever we create this MongoDB, it will create one object ID so that it will return. Even find, we can find the information. Delete, we can perform this delete operation. MongoDB connected with Node.js program. How to connect MongoDB and Node.js for combining with HTML. A simple sample given here. Variable Mongo client equal to require MongoDB. It is the module used here. Special module. Dot MongoDB client. MongoDB dot connect of MongoDB colon localhost colon 27017/mydb. MyDB is your database name. Instead of school, we can give MyDB. So function error comma database. If error throw, otherwise welcome to database program. Your program is connected. JSON format I told. Another file, MongoDB function. Function means it will throw error db equal to client.db of MyDB. Now persons db.collection of persons. What is your collection? If the collection is person, it will return the value. Find one. Find one. That means first record. It will return the value. So what is the name? First name. I given first name. What is the first record? First name. First name. It will return the value. I given first name and last name. So that. So console.log. Console.log means we know in the debug screen it will display. It will never display there. There in the sense response.write. Another example. You see here. It is just MongoDB. All these are common. These are common. Here only we can concentrate. db.collection persons, comma. That is persons is the database name, collection, function, error, comma, collection, collection.insert, ID, first name, collection.insert, ID, first name, last name, collection.insert. 3 informations I inserted here. Now I'm telling db.collection of persons dot count of. I'm counting the value and printing the value of what is the count. In the database, if I'm having 10 and here 3 in the sense, the count, it will be 13. If database contains 5 and here I'm inserting 3, so the count is 8, like that. For that we will be using. And one more example, how to update the information. Instead of ID 1, I'm having Bill and Gates. Instead of that, I want to set the value as Sirog and Pavan. If I want to use, just I can replace that particular value and I can successfully upload those information so that it will display. If you want to remove any other ID too, so that also possible over here. So these are the MongoDB. By this way, we want to use this full stack web development for creating the entire web page. So HTML for design, CSS for appearance, Bootstrap and jQuery, everything with JavaScript for validations, etc. And later we will use Node.js for server-side program, database, creating a database and connected with all the designs. By this way, we can develop our own web page. Thank you for your patience and thank you for participating in this webinar. If you are having any queries, post it on the chat box. So I thank the management of Francis Xavier Engineering College, the Department of IT, and I'm giving special thanks to Professor Dr. R. Rafi sir from Department of Information Technology for giving an opportunity to talk to you on behalf of, based on the title Full Stack Web Development Technology. Thank you to all.